their junior, senior year of high school. Been involved with that for a long time. Took a fair hiatus in there, and then Susan and I got re-involved this year, just sort of as a transition team to help out with moving it forward into its next chapter. And it was really wonderful. And being around young adults and hearing what they think and hearing what they do, pretty neat. If you want to see more in specific, I highly recommend going back to Sunday's service. There was a beautiful service there. Really was very, very poignant. Loved doing it. And yeah, just learned a lot from young adults as part of that service. I actually put it on at New Church Live. So you can go back and see that on our webpage or this Facebook page. And one of the things that got brought up as we were doing content for that morning with young adults is this beautiful quote that someone said, which was, when David, think of David and Goliath fame, when God went out to make David a king, he did not give him a crown, he gave him a challenge. And that challenge was Goliath. And I love that idea. It's not about a crown, it's about a challenge. And that's how we grow. That's how life works. And I think with these young adults, trying to help them to engage in the challenge of it all, to lean into the really hard parts, to lean into the challenging parts that are just going to be tough, and to really, really, again, lean into that as hard as we possibly can. I think that makes a huge difference out there into the world when we can do that, when we can lean into those challenges. And that idea of Goliath, like one of the fascinating parts of Goliath, and it's how we lean into those challenges, is we come to know just a handful of things. And those handful of things come down to these stones. Like part of the story is that he's asked, when David takes on Goliath, this epic battle, he's asked to go pick 5 smooth stones out of the creek there that have been washed. And they're truths that we know over time. And I love that idea that that's what we're really asked to do when we come to challenges of life. Not to know it all. We're just to pick up a handful of a few things that we really know. Like, oh, I really know this, and I really know this, and I really know this, I really know this, I really know this. And it's that knowledge with a capital K, and that's how we start to lean into the challenges of life. I love in that story that those stones, it's a limited number. It's not asking for the biggest army of all time. It's not asking to know all things. It's not asking to know the future. It's asking for 5 smooth stones. What are those for you? What would be a stone that would be helpful to you in a time of challenge? Something you feel like literally you could slay giants with. That's something to think about. And I mean, there's so many of them, right? One that comes to mind right away is love wins. One I've been thinking about because I heard it and I quoted it at a wedding I did this weekend. Beautiful quote. It's a simple idea, which is that never perfect, always better. I think that idea that we're never going to do it perfectly. We just aren't. Purely mathematical concept, perfection. But we are always going to try to do it a little bit better. And that God blesses that endeavor. Truth is first in time, good is first in end. That's one that's, I think, real important. That idea that truth, we have to be really clear and that, but it's always with this goal towards love. And oftentimes the truth has to show up first in time, but the goal always has to be this loving heart. Other ones like value connection above all things. That idea that disconnection is the enemy, and religio. Many of you have heard me say this sermon a million times. Religio, like the Latin of the word religion, literally means to reconnect things, and I think that's what religion at its best does. It reconnects all things. And the last one, maybe, I'm just thinking, very random ones here. Is just keep God first. I think that's so important. Is there's this beautiful line in the Bible, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. And I think that's what God is all about. Like, God doesn't take a hierarchical position because God needs that position. It's just God needs us to take our minds and elevate them, to find a transcendent way of seeing the world. And that's where God is always inviting to see the world in a transcendent way. We don't get that unless we hold God in esteem, unless we love God and really can sort of turn that over to God. And God just, again, it's not that God's like, well, you got to love me, like any parent would do that. And nobody would do that. It's a loving relationship that as we look up to God and we move forward in our lives, God is going to help us look out there into the world. So we look up and then we look out. and look out into the world with the eyes of love, hopefully seeing the world as God would have us see it. I mean, those are just some basic ones, friends. And that's how, again, that's how life goes. And we don't learn that if we're just sort of plomped and given a crown. If we just have a crown sort of slammed on our heads, that isn't what's going to do it. We won't learn those things that way. We'll learn about self-esteem and about puffery and about, boy, I feel good about myself, which is such a I don't get me started. I mean, I just feel like we are so consumed with everybody needing to feel good about themselves every moment. It's a fool's errand. It's really about dropping that question, not about finding it some answer where we finally get a big enough crown that we feel good about ourselves. It's about dropping it and just getting on with the work of life, the work of service, the work of love, and the work of connection. And let's do that as we head into the rest of this week. So that's the thought for today, friends. I hope that makes sense to you, and I'm wishing you all the very best in the week ahead. And so there you go. God's not going to give you a crown, but he sure is going to give you Goliath. That's the way we find our destiny. So with that, dear friends, what we're going to do now is we're going to do ring a prayer bell. We're going to do a little prayer, a little meditation, and a little blessing, and then we'll say hi to friends on Facebook. So with that, my dear friends, here my little ringy thingy is. All right, we're going to listen to the prayer bell here. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends, please excuse my attentiveness shifting over here as we just take a little look, see if we have anyone leaving comments on New Church Live's Facebook page or my Facebook page. And we'll just take a quick look here and say hi to folks if anybody's left a comment there. Gene, good morning. Finally able to catch you live after a month of taking care of John and his broken hip at the rehab. Well, I hope you're doing well, Gene. And again, looking forward to getting together with you folks sometime soon down in Easton. Marcus, good morning to you, buddy. I hope you're doing quite well. Thank you for the little text exchange this morning. That was good news. And flipping over here. All right, Martha, good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. And Frank, my dear buddy, hope you're doing great as well. So, friends, wishing you all the best. May God bless your day. May you have just a wonderful